Back on Trojans Live at the Lab, Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and this segment of Trojans Live is brought to you by 4 catches for 724 yards last year and 5 TDs just as a freshman. And new year, you got yourself a new name. You added on Schuster to the end. That actually was a pretty cool LA Times story about it, but for people that haven't read it, what's the story and why was that important to you?
It's very important. So Schuster comes from my stepdad, and growing up as a kid, he's the one who brought me to football. So I think without football, without him, leading me to be where I'm at today, teaching me from right from wrong, it was an honor to take on his last name. So Schuster, it is.
Every time JuJu, and I followed you in high school too. The one thing that accents your personality or who you are is the work ethic. Just tremendous work ethic. How much of a difference do you feel now coming into this year in terms of confidence? Now coming into this year than a year ago when you were just a freshman.
I feel a lot better. I feel a lot stronger, more physical. Taking my game to a whole nother level, and it's easy. When you do hard work, pays off, and it really does. And now I'm at this moment where it's the first game, and I feel confident to go in and dominate.
What was the focus of your off season? What were your goals, individually in terms of weight room strength, and then getting on the field and improving there?
Well, on the field, what I worked on was body control and be more physical. For my size, if a DB this weekend that we're playing, he's like 5'9", 170. So what I'm going to do is throw him around, and that's all I can do.
I was 5'9", 170 once. I played here at 5'9", 170.
We saw you in that pride drill, though. It seems like nobody wants anything to do with you when you're taking on little corners.
And it was crazy because they put me against Iman Marshall, my own buddy.
Guy.
Yeah, my own guy. So I was like, dude, honestly, this is offense versus defense, and if I lose, the offense is going to be mad, and so I had to win.
How's that gone with Big? I mean, you guys were teammates, obviously, in high school, and played against each other in practice all the time. How much difference do you see from him? I mean, he was away from you for a year because he was at in high school a year ago. How much difference and improvement do you see from him compared to when you saw him at Pauley?
Biggie's he's more of a physical corner. When he came to college, in high school he wasn't as physical, but now his technique and everything got way better. For him to be the number one corner to come out is amazing. Because I saw him, I played with him my high school year. Now we're going to each other on the practice field at USC, and we're like, dude, you need to work on this. Telling me what I need to work on. And it just goes hand in hand every day.
And think about it, Jordan. They were in the same secondary at one point where he was playing free
Scary.
safety and Biggie was playing corner. It wasn't pretty for a lot of high school receivers.
You ever miss those safety days? Coach is gone. Just looked around to see if Coach is still here.
He hasn't gotten his car yet.
I would love to play safety. I mean, if he throws me in there, I'm going all out. I'm playing, what I can offer. And I miss it. I miss it so much. Just being out there, being able to hit instead of, catching the ball.
Yeah, and that'd be my question for you because I saw you in high school, and most people thought you were a better safety in high school than you are a receiver, which is, hard to believe. But it is true. You might have been a better safety. Why did you decide to go to receiver first? Was it just the opportunity to play right away?
No, honestly, I felt like I could play on both sides of the ball, early. What I saw was that, USC – I was like scoring. I was like striking the band. Okay. So in my head, when I was growing up watching Reggie Bush and all these other guys, great receivers, I was like, dude, I want to be a receiver. I want to score. I want to strike the band. Like I want to jump into the crowd. And knowing that USC puts out these top receivers, I was like, I could be the next guy.
And it seems like you are the next guy, and part of that is taking on that leadership responsibility in the room. And how much has that been a focus for you in leading this, super talented but young group of receivers?
It's been a lot. I took in a lot of leadership, but also you have guys older than me. I'm still 18, so I have guys who are 20 years old, like Steven Mitchell and Darius, and even our transfers. They came in. These are all great guys. We're all leaders. To be a great leader, you have to take responsibility, and whatever I do wrong, they'll let me know. Whatever they do wrong, I let them know. So it goes hand in hand.
And that's one thing I was going to ask you as well is the ability to, in the second year in this offense, how much easier is it now and comfortable are you now compared to a year ago when you were just, trying to learn the playbook at this point?
Yeah. So I came from offense. In high school where we just huddle. Yeah. And coming to college and hurry up offense, like it's for every Pac-12 school, and it's like that across country. And this year it's like back in my hand, I can read it. It's like when you go and you take a test and you know all the answers.
Right.
It's that easy.
Last thing I got to ask you about has nothing to do with football. Every time I see you on campus, you're rolling around on this orb. I think it's called an air wheel.
Yes.
What's the story with that?
So, after practice, I was like, dude, I got to walk to class. Like, it's not that far, though. I'm like, my legs are, like, sore. I'm like, all right, so I got to find something. So I saw a professor riding an air wheel, which is a Segway, which is just one wheel with no handlebars. And you control it with the bottom of your feet. So it's all off of pressure. You ride like you press on the car, the gas. And I was like, okay, I got to get one. So when I bought one, my mom was like, you're wasting your money. And then when she saw me ride it around, I was like, dude, you're saving your legs. And I'm like, yes, Mom, thank you. I appreciate it. But she understands now. But
and you're a trendsetter. I feel like half the team has one now.
Yeah, we got Cedric Ware on the air wheel. And you have Steven Mitchell, Sua, and Chris Hawkins on these 2 wheels. It's a trend.
JuJu Smith-Schuster, trendsetter. He'll be at the Coliseum Saturday night. Things finally get started. 8 p.m. Pregame will start 6 p.m. for us on ESPN LA 710 as USC takes on Arkansas State. Forget